Alright, today we worked on finding the circumference and area of circles and irregular shapes. So to start out, we'll define circles. Circle is a set of points that are equidistant from a given point called the center. And what that means is that if we have a center, every point on the circle, these are all the same distance away from the center of the circle. The radius is a segment whose endpoints are the center. So the center here, and any point on the circle. So right there on the circle. We can have multiple radii. They're all the same length on the circle, so no matter where we draw it, at least if our endpoint's out of the center and somewhere on the circle. Those are all exactly the same. The diameter is a segment that passes through, whose endpoints are on the circle, and it has to pass through the center. So again, we could have multiple lengths that are the diameter, and they're all the same as long as the endpoints are on the circle and it passes through the center. Circumference and area formulas for circle. We talked about circumference is all the way around. It's similar to perimeter, but we treat circumference a little differently because it's a circle and it doesn't have straight edges. So for circumference, it's either d meaning diameter, times pi, or 2 times the radius times pi. And then we talked about how 2r does equal the diameter, and that's why we can replace those in the formula and have the same formula. Your area is pi r squared. So I know these shapes look like ovals. Somebody joked that because it's Easter that maybe I did this on purpose, but originally when I drew these they were circles, so we're going to assume they still are circles and identify that what we have here is our radius. That 10 is our radius. So to find the circumference, we're going to use 2 times the radius, so 10 times 2 is 20 pi. And then we would say inches. The only other thing that you could do with that is actually multiply 20 times pi, and it would give you about 62.8. That would be an approximation. Inches, and I don't care which one you give me. I'll probably leave my answer in terms of pi, but that's an exact answer. This is an approximate, so whichever one you want to give me, I don't care. I'll probably just show you in terms of pi from here on out on your answers. So for our area, we would take pi r squared, so 10 squared, which is 100 pi. And you could multiply that and get 3.14, or 314 point, I think 2 it is, inches squared, or you can just leave it in terms of pi. Okay, on our second one we can see that we have the diameter, so to find circumference we can just take the diameter times pi, so 16 pi meters, or you can multiply that out and give me that approximation. For the area we have to take pi times the radius, so if the diameter is 16, the radius is 8 squared, so 8 squared is 64 pi meters squared. On example 2, you're going to look at the shapes and try to find the area given there. If you can, you want to split them up into shapes that you can see. So right here I broke this one up here so that I could so that you can see that we have a rectangle. So I'm going to take the area of a rectangle plus half the area of a circle. So for the rectangle, we use 12 by 20, and then for our circle we'll take half of our radius, or pi r squared I should say, and our radius here is halfway across on the bottom up here, halfway, so that would give us 6 squared. So 12 times 20 is 240, and 6 squared is 36 times a half, or divided by 2 is 18 pi, and this would be inches squared. And again, you could actually put that in your calculator and give it to the nearest tenth for me. Otherwise we just leave it in terms of pi. On our second shape there's lots of ways to divide this up. I'll probably divide it up this way. So we can see that we need to find this length. We know that the whole length is 22 and this part is 10. So if that is 10, then that means that the rest is 12. So that tells us we have a square here. So we're going to take the area of a square plus the area of the rectangle to find all of that shaded region. So for my square, it's 12 squared. For the rectangle, it's 10 by 50. 12 squared is 144. 10 by 50 is 500. So we get a total area of 644 feet squared. On example 3, we have to find the shaded region here, or area, and we can see that this white means that there's a hole. So in this case, we're going to say that we have a circle, and we're going to take away the rectangle. So for my circle, the area of my circle is pi r squared. So my radius, if you notice that this is the distance all the way across our circle, so all the way across is 36, so half of that will be our radius, so 18 squared, minus our rectangle is 30 by 12. So 18 squared is 324 pi, and then 30 by 12 is 3600, or 360. Again, you can put that in your calculator to give an approximation, or you can leave it in terms of pi, and we would say inches squared. Okay, on this next shape, it looks like we have a trapezoid, and we're going to take away 4 circles. So for my trapezoid, I need to know that the height of my trapezoid is 20. I multiply it by base 1, the bottom, plus base 2, the top, and then we divide that by 2. We're going to take away 4 circles. So here we can see that all the way down our height is 20, so if we cut that in half we get 10. If we cut that in half again we get 5, and that's our radius. So we have 4 times pi 5 squared. Then we can take 20 plus 28 is 48 times 20 and divide by 2, that's 480. And then we'll subtract 5 squared, 25 times 4 is 100 pi. And that would be meters squared. Again, if you want to know that approximation, you can put that in your calculator and simplify that. On example 4, you're going to find the area. To do this, you're going to again want to see if you can break this up into shapes that you are easy to identify. So if you break it here and here, you can see that we have a shape there and then 2 triangles. So for our area, we're going to find the area of a square plus the area of a area of a triangle and the area of the other triangle. So our square, we can just count those lengths. We have 5 here and 5 up, so 5 by 5 is 25. Then we have, this is 5 here, and our height of our triangle is 3, so we have half of 15, or 15 over 2. This other one here is also 5 by 3. So instead of going, or I guess we could go 15 over 2 here and add those. And you can see that if we have 15 halves plus 15 halves, we get 15. We add those and our total area is 40 units squared. Alright, I hope this helps you with your assignment 8-5 circles and irregular shapes. Good luck.